صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن جابر بن عبد الله الأنصاري عن فاطمة الزهراء عليها السلام بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله قال سمعت فاطمة أنها قالت دخل علي برسول الله في بعض الأيام فقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة فقلت عليك السلام قال إني أجد في بدني ضعفا فقلت له أعيذك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف فقال يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به فأتيت بالكساء اليماني فغطيت به وسرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله.
اللهم صل على محمد.
فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسن قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أمه فقلت وعليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي فقال يا أمه إني أشم عندك رائحتان طيبة كأنها رائحة جد رسول الله فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جده يا رسول الله أتعذنني أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوضي قد أذنت لك فدخل معه تحت الكساء فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسين قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أمه فقلت وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي فقال لي يا أمه إني أشم عندك رائحتان طيبة كأنها رائحة جد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله فقلت نعم إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جده السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله أتأذنوني لأن أكون معكما تحت الكساء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي قد أذنت لك فدخل مرحوما تحت الكساء. فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله فقلت وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحتان طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عمي رسول الله وقلت نعم هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله أتأذنوني لأن أكون معكم تحت الكساء قال له وعليك السلام يا أخي ويا وسي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي قد أذنت لك فدخل علي تحت الكساء. ثم أتيته نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا تأذنوني لأن أكون معكم تحت الكساء. قال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بضعتي، قد أذنت لك فدخلت تحت الكساء. فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرف انكساء وأومى بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحامتي، لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن صالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. فقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنيا ولا أرضا مدحيا ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيا ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. وقال الأمين جبرائيل يا رب ومن تحت الكساء؟ وقال عز وجل ومحن بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. فقال جبرائيل يا رب تأذنوني لأن أهبط إلى الآن لأكون معهم سادسا. فقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك. فأبت الأمين جبرائيل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله. العلي الأعلى يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنيا ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيا ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحر يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم. وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم فهل تأذنوني يا رسول الله؟ وقال رسول الله وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء وقال لأبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. فقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجوس هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. وقال النبي والذي بعثني من حق نبيا واصطفاني برسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الآل وفي جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي ولد والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال النبي ثانيا يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الآل وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا وفيه مهموم إلا وفرج الله همه كشف الله غما ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجتها. فقال علي إذا والله فزنا وسعدنا وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة.
आवाज़ बुलंद नारे सलवात। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आलि मुहम्मद।
किताब کباب پانی میں جمال حضرت عباس تیغ و مشک و علام جمال حضرت عباس تیغ و مشک و علام چمک رہے ہیں کئی آفتاب چمک رہے ہیں کئی آفتاب پانی میں جمال حضرت عباس تیغ و مشک و علام چمک رہے ہیں کئی آفتاب پانی میں سوار پیاسا رہا راہبر پیاسا رہا اگرچہ ڈوب چکی سی رکاب پانی میں اگرچہ ڈوب چکی سی رکاب پانی میں پلا پلا کے شہیدوں کے نام پر پانی پلا پلا کے شہیدوں کے نام پر پانی نکالی خوب یہ راہ ثواب نکالی خوب یہ راہ ثواب پانی میں ادھر سبیل لگائی ادھر مہکنے لگے ادھر سبیل لگائی ادھر مہکنے لگے ہمیں حسین کے تازہ گلاب ہمیں حسین کے تازہ گلاب پانی میں کھلی تشنہ نبی کی کتاب پانی میں عجب شہادت شبیر کا ہے پس منظر عجب شہادت شبیر کا ہے پس منظر سوار دشت میں ڈھونڈو جواب پانی میں سوار دشت میں ڈھونڈو جواب پانی میں کھلی ہے تشنہ نبی کی کتاب پانی میں بجد شجاعت عباس نامور ریحان لکھا ہے کس نے یہ سارا نصاب پانی میں لکھا ہے کس نے وفا کا نصاب پانی میں کھلی ہے تشنہ نبی کی کتاب پانی میں
بآواز بلند نعرے سلوات
بابا سے بلند سلوات
اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد
دنیا میں جو محب شہ مشرق باطل کے سامنے جو جھکائے نہ اپنا سر سمجھو کہ اس کے ذہن کا مال باطل کے سامنے جو جھکائے نہ اپنا سر سمجھو کہ اس کے ذہن کا مال حسین ہے دنیا میں جو جو آئے شہ خدا دیکھے تمام حضور بریدہ جدا جدا ہاتھوں سے دل پکڑ کے کہا واہ محمد مت کا یہ سلوک تو دیکھو پہ خدا ابن حسن کی جان پسد میں گزر گئے لولا نہ جان قاسم ناشاد مر گئے ابن حسن کی جان پسد میں گزر گئے لولا نہ جان قاسم ناشاد مر گئے روتے ہوئے قریب جو صاحب کے کلام سے چند شعر درے حسین سے غم کی زکات لے کے چلو درے حسین سے غم کی زکات لے سرمایہ ساتھ لے کے چلو درے حسین سے غم کی زکات لے کے چلو رہے حیات میں ہے قاتلوں کی بات بھی تو آئے بادشاہ کا کے غم میں وہ آگ ساتھ رہے جو ماتم سرور وہ ہاتھ لے کے چلو درے حسین سے غم کی زکات لے کے چلو اگر رکو تو زمانے کی گردشیں چلو تو سارے زمانے کو ساتھ لے کے چلو درے حسین سے غم کی زکات لے کے چلو صدا یہ دیتے تھے رن میں حسین کے اجل کو مار دو ٹھوکر حیات لے کے چلو درے حسین سے غم کی زکات لے کے چلو کہاں یہ قاسم ہے مستر نے جا کے مقتل میں کہاں یہ جا قاسم ہے مستر نے جا کے مقتل میں جو بے مثال ہو ایسی برات لے کے چلو درے حسین سے غم کی زکات لے کے چلو جو کام آئے وہ سرمایہ ساتھ لے کے چلو درے حسین سے غم کی فاتحہ رن میں باندھے ہوئے سہرے کو جو آئے سے کفن بیاہ کے جوڑے کو بنائے مجھے ادا ہوئی مصروف سرائے پاس کی شان سے تشریف لائے کی شان سے تشریف لائے باراتی کو بھی ہمراہ نہیں لائے لشکر حسن جلو میں یہ لے آئے لشکر حسن جلو میں یہ آئے ہیں پل باغ جوانی کا نہیں پایا اپنے امو پا فدا ہونے کو لے آیا ہے نو فلک پیر نے دکھلایا ہے تشن دہانی سے بھی گھبرایا ہے تشن دہانی سے بھی گھبرایا ہے اگر قتل ہوا روح حسن روئے گی ایسی بیتاب ہو گھونگھٹ میں دلہن روئے گی ایسی بیتاب ہو گھونگھٹ میں دلہن روئے گی ہی جائے رات کو خیمہ شبیر میں تھا اس کا دن کو مرنے کے لیے آیا ہے غیرت ماں کس طرح قتل کریں دولہا کو ہم کس طرح قتل کریں دولہا کو ہم تیرے ظالم سے اگر اس کا جدا سر ہوگا کی بیٹی کو نرن سالہ میسر ہوگا کی بیٹی کو نرن سالہ میسر ہوگا ملعون طرف قاسم نوشاہ چلا اور بسد عز یہ نوشاہ سے ہوا ہو گویا اے ابن حسن ہم نہیں کرنے کے جفا لشکر میں ہمارے نہ کرو خوف آؤ لشکر میں ہمارے کی رفاقت سے اٹھاؤ منتظر ہم کھڑے سب ادھر آؤ منتظر ہم ہیں کھڑے سب ادھر آؤ بیاں شمرے ستمگر نے جو قاسم سے کیا قاسم نوشاہ عظیم کام گیا اور یہ فرمایا کہ اے شمر تو کہتا ہے کیا تو شبیر کی خدمت سے تو کرتا ہے جدا مجھ کو شبیر کی خدمت سے تو کرتا ہے جدا مسترب کیا دل خمدیدہ میرا ہو تن سے جدا ہوتا ہے سایہ بھی بھلا تن سے جدا ہوتا ہے مرگ نے مجرا پن قاسم کا کیا ملا باغ شہادت سے اسے لشکر ظلم میں اس دم یہ ہوا ہو کاٹو دیکھا زن بیوہ کا پسر کاٹو دیکھیا زن بیوہ کا پسر قتل ہوا تمہار ہوئی حسن خلد میں ناجات ہوئے رات کی بیائی کے ارمان بھی برباد ہوئے رات کی بیائی کے ارمان بھی برباد ہوئے میں باندھے ہوئے
گزارش ہے کہ جتنا آگے آ سکیں آ جائیں پلیز. ایکسپیکٹنگ مور پیپل ہیئر انشاءاللہ ود لاؤڈ صلوات. Like to request Maulana to please come and start the first verse. Salawat.
recite Surah Fatiha for the following Lakin, Ghulam Abbas Hussain, Khatun Begum, Amir Begum, Hassan Raza, Abid Raza, Sayyida Begum, and Sayyid Mahdi Hassan. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وخاتم النبيين سيدنا ونبينا وشفيع ذنوبنا وطبيب قلوبنا بالقاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين الغر الميامين المعصومين من يومنا هذا إلى يوم الدين أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه المجيد وخطابه المتين وهو أصدق القائلين وقوله الحق بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون صلوات اللهم صل على محمد. The verse which we have been talking about since day one refers or discloses for us one of the most important questions that all of us should have. And that question is, what is the purpose of my creation? Why am I here in this world? According to some of the traditions, in some of the books, you'll find this statement, Rahimallahu Imran. May Allah have mercy on the person who knows min ayn, where did he come from? Ila ayn, where is he heading? Know fi ayn, and where is he right now? To know your beginning, you are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To know your end, inna lillahi inna ilayhi rajiun. We are going to go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we will be questioned for whatever we have done here in this dunya. Why did he send us here? This is a question that we should all try to answer. And the Holy Quran discloses the answer to this question by saying, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسِ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. We did not create the jinns and the humans except for the reason that they should worship. The purpose of our creation is worship. Let me ask you this question. What benefit does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala get out of my worship? Is there any benefit? He commanded me to worship. Not only commanded me, he said, if you do not worship me, I'm going to throw you in the hellfire. Well, if I worship Allah or if I do not worship Allah, does it affect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? No. Then why be so strict? Why be so strict? He loves his creation, so then he should let us do whatever we want to do. He should give us the freedom. Is it a sign of love? It's a question, very important question. Well, if my worship is not going to affect him in any way, does it affect him? Does my worship increase his kingdom? Does my sinning, God forbid, reduce his kingdom? Creates a reduction in his next vast kingdom? No, whether I worship him or I disobey him, it's not going to affect him. Then why command to worship? Why create me to worship him? What is the benefit that he's getting out of it? Is there any benefit he's getting out of it? No. Then why should I worship them? Yes. Some answers. Why should I worship them? But this is the purpose of our creation. He created us to worship him. This is the reason behind why we are created.
To achieve perfection.
To achieve perfection. Very good answer. To achieve perfection. It is through worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you will achieve perfection. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not getting anything out of your worship. He's biniyaz. He is not in need of your worship. The Holy Quran testifies to this. Surah Fatir, verse number 15. Ya ayyuhan nas, O people, antumul fuqara ilallah. All of you are in need of Allah. Wallahu huwal ghaniyul hamid. It is Allah who is free from all need, who is ghani and who is hamid. He does not need you. You need him. So if you do not worship him, you are not going to hurt him. You will be hurting yourselves. Just like a plant. If the sun says to a plant that you have to come and benefit from my sunlight every day, and the plant says, well, if I go in the sunlight, am I going to affect the sun? Is the sun going to benefit from me? Does the sun benefit from the plant? No. And if the plant does not come in the sunlight, who is going to suffer? Who is going to suffer? The sun or the plant? The plant. So whether you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or you do not worship him, you are not going to hurt Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is you yourself that you will be benefiting. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands you to worship him and is strict about that, it is because worshipping him is in your benefit. And he wants you to reach your perfection. So when he created us, we mentioned this before, when he created us with the potential to become human beings. We have hidden potential within ourselves, and he wants us to develop that potential, to get to our perfection. ताकि इंसान अपने कमाल तक पहुंच सके. What is the perfection of an apple seed? An apple seed has a potential to become a tree. And not only to become a tree and deliver fruit. Not only deliver fruit, deliver sweet fruit. That is the ultimate potential that this seed has. Now it will depend on the circumstances in which this seed is placed, the soil, the circumstances that will determine what kind of perfection this seed attains. It might be able to get to the ultimate perfection, but if the circumstances are not favorable, it won't get to its full potential. It won't grow to its full potential. And if it does not grow, if it grows to becomes a tree, but does not deliver fruit, it has not achieved its true potential. If it delivers fruit, but not as much as it could have, it still has not reached its potential. If it delivers sweet, but the fruit is bitter, sour, again it has not reached its potential. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us with the ability to develop the potential that we have and become a complete human being. उसने हमें इंसान नहीं खल्क किया, इंसान बनने के लिए खल्क किया. इंसान बनने के लिए खल्क किया. But he created dog as the son of a dog or the child of a dog to be a dog. The offsprings of lions are lions. The offsprings of wolves are wolves. बाकी हैवानात में इस तरह उनके फर्जंद, उनकी औलाद उसी सीरत में वैसे ही है. लेकिन इंसान की औलाद, the offspring of children of humans, they have the potential to become a human. It depends on the decisions that they take. जो फैसले करते हैं, the decisions that you take will decide whether you end up being a human being, the reason why you were created, or you end up being one of the beasts, for example, God forbid. The choices we make in life determine, and therefore it is important, and we all were created with a different potential. The potential that males have is different than the potential that females have. They've been given emotions more than men, because they need more emotions to fulfill the tasks that they were created for. And one of the difficulties, or one of the problems, or one of the injustices that this society has done is that it has set a single standard of success for males and females. If the apple tree wants to become a lemon tree, if the apple seed wants to become a lemon tree and deliver lemon, would that be considered as perfection? That is not its perfection. And if a lemon wants to deliver sweet apples, is that its perfection? No. One of the injustices that has happened in the society is that women want to become men. And then men, there are different standards of success for men and women. We have to accomplish the potential that Allah has given us, and that would be our perfection. We all are driven towards perfection. You want to be perfect, I want to be perfect. Is there anyone in this room who does not want to be perfect? Is there anyone? Even the word makeup, what is it making up for? For the imperfections one perceives in themselves. That's why you use makeup, to cover the deficiencies that put a person. We all want to be, and then this love for perfection is part of our fitrah, it's part of our nature. We all want to be perfect. And it's very easy to prove that it is part of your fitrah. If your clothes get dirty, why do you wash your clothes? Why do you wash your clothes? Because you consider it as an imperfection. You want to get rid of it. All of us want to do that. You want to become perfect, you want to look perfect. If God forbid somebody has an amputated hand, if a person is handicapped, you would not want to live with that imperfection. If you get that replaced with an artificial hand, he would do that. If he can't, he will hide it in public. Why is he hiding it in public? Because he does not want his defect to be revealed. And the same goes with spiritual defects. These are bodily defects. You can have spiritual defects. A person can be bakhil, can be a miser. Nobody wants to be called a miser. And if you have this deficiency, either you will get rid of this deficiency, and if you can't, then but you still don't want to be called a miser, what will you do? You will resort to riya. You will donate in public, so that you're not attributed with this sifat of bukhul. We all do that. So the love for perfection is within ourselves. We all are driven by perfection. We want to be perfect. We want to be kamil. Sab kamal chahte hain. We want to be perfect. Here's where shaitan comes in and uses this God-given motivation, God-given drive to be perfect. Comes and tells us getting wealth is perfection. Becoming famous is perfection. Getting power is perfection. And that is why when people begin to think that becoming a billionaire is perfection, they start running after money. When they think becoming famous is perfection, they start running after fame. When they think that getting power is perfection, they start running after power. But if these were true perfection, and if these were the reasons why we were created, then the more wealth you have, the more satisfied you should be. The more power you get, the more satisfied you should be. The more popular you become, the more satisfied you should be. But that is not the case. The more wealth you get, the more greedy you get. The more power, if you get control over one country, you would want to have control over another country. The more depressed you get, which shows that these are not true masadiq, true instances of perfection. So what is that true perfection that we all strive for? And we want to achieve, and we want to get. Because if we can identify that, the closer we get to that perfection, the more satisfied we will be. The more inner peace we will get. We will not be depressed. Depression is one of the biggest problems of today's world. Why? We are not fulfilling the purpose of our creation, which is getting to perfection. We have not identified what that perfection is. वो कौन सा कमाल है जिसकी तरफ खुदा ने हमें धकेला है, जिसकी तरफ हमें बुलाया है? That perfection is none other than God Himself. खुदा की ज़ात कामिल ज़ात है. That is absolute perfection, and it is His love that He has instilled in our hearts. उसकी मोहब्बत है, कमाल की मोहब्बत हकीकत में खुदा की मोहब्बत है. It is His mohabbat, it is His love that is pulling us towards Him. And the more close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala you get, the more satisfied you will be. And the Holy Quran testifies to this fact in the Holy Quran in these verses, Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. It is in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the hearts find tranquility. It is in His remembrance. It is in His zikr. And His zikr is ibadah. His zikr, His remembrance is ibadah. Be it at the level of the heart, the level of the tongue, the level of your body parts. It is this purpose. If you're fulfilling this purpose, you will be satisfied. And the more ibadat you do, the more close you get to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more satisfied you. The more satisfied you will be. Then it would not matter whether you have this dunya at your disposal or not. If you have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have whatever Allah has created at your disposal. These personalities that we commemorate, they were not after Jannah or those or fear of those away. They don't want to get away from those. They were not worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the sake of Jannah. They were worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the sake of Himself. And if you have Allah, you have everything. In Dua Arafah, what does Imam Hussain al-Islam say? What did you get? Or what does a person get if he loses you? And what does a person lose if he has you? अगर खुदा मिल गया तो क्या खोया? और अगर खुदा को खो दिया तो क्या पाया? So living in this world, in that Dua Arafah, we all read on the day of Arafah. At the end of this Dua Arafah, Imam Hussain has a beautiful statement. It applies to all of us. After all those du'as that Imam Hussain mentioned in Dua Arafah, at the end he says, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm going to ask a dua from you now, which if fulfilled, which if it is not fulfilled, all the blessings that you have given me will not benefit me. I'm going to ask you something which if it is not fulfilled, all the blessings that you have given me will not benefit me. And if you give me that, if you fulfill that dua of mine, all that you have not given me will not hurt me. What is that thing that Imam Islam is after? I want freedom from the hellfire. Freedom from the hellfire. If we give our children the best of this dunya, the best of the education, the best of the jobs, the best of the future, but as a result they lose their religion, what have you given them? Nothing. But if they have the religion intact, but do not end up getting a good job, or a good career, or a good future in this dunya, but the religion is intact, they have fulfilled the purpose of the creation, what did they lose? Nothing. The purpose of our creation is worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot be worshipped if you do not have His ma'rifah, if you do not know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? In that tradition where Imam Hussain al-Islam came to his companion and said, إن الله عز وجل ذكره ما خلق العباد إلا ليعرفوه. Allah did not create His servants except that they should know Him. Then He said, فإذا عرفوه عبدوه. When they will know Him, they will worship Him. He said, وإذا عبدوه استغنوا بعبادته عن عبادة ما سواه. When they will worship Him, what will happen? Is Allah going to benefit? No. when they will worship him, they will become free of worshipping others. ये इबादत का असर है कि आपको दूसरों की इबादत से बेनियाज करता है। जो शेर है एक सजदा जिसे तो गिरान सा बचता है, वो इसी से है कि अल्लाह की इबादत तुम्हें दूसरों की इबादत से बेनियाज कर दे। अल्लाह को पहचाना कैसे जाए? मा मारिफतुल्लाह। एक सहाबी खड़ा हुआ, पूछा या रसूलुल्लाह, अभी अंता व उम्मी, मेरे बाबा बाप पे कुर्बान, मा मारिफतुल्लाह, व्हाट इज मारिफत ऑफ अल्लाह? खुदा की मारिफत क्या है जिसके जरिए से हम अपने हदफ खिलकत को पूरा करेंगे? इमाम ने फरमाया मारिफतु अहल कुल्ल ज़मानिन इमाम ज़मानिहिम अल्लज़ी यजिब अलैहिम दाअतुहुम। हर जमाने के रहने वाले अपने जमाने के इमाम की मारिफत हासिल करें। So having the मारिफत of the imam of your time is मारिफत of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Having, understanding the virtues of your imam, the imam of your time, identifying the imam of your time, knowing the virtues of the imam of their time, of your time, is marifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because they are the only means we have of knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are the best manifestations of the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Khuda ki sifat ke behtareen mazhar. We cannot access God directly. It has to be through a channel. These are the best channels. These are the channels that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created so that we can know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through them. That is why knowing the Imam is knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Knowing the Imam is knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is through them that you can know Allah. If you don't know the Imam, you don't know Allah. من مات ولم يعرف إمام زمانه مات ميتة جاهلية. A tradition which both Shias and Sunnis have narrated, if you die without knowing the Imam of your time, you have died a death of ignorance, of Jahiliyyah. Why? Because you cannot know God. If you do not know the Imam, you cannot know God to fulfill that purpose which is Ibadat. Ibadat will happen only after Ma'rifah, and Ma'rifah will come with the Ma'rifah of the Imam. Will come with the Ma'rifah of the Imam. That's why it is important to know the Ma'rifah. Look at the Ma'rifah of the Imam. Look at the sincerity of intention that the Imams had when they worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. He says, لو كشف الغطاء ما ازددت يقينا. If the curtains are removed from before my eyes, it is not going to increase me in my marifat. The marifat के उस दर्जे पर फाइज है कि आंखों के सामने तमाम पर्दे भी हट जाएं। मारिफत में इजाफा है। मारिफत उनकी इबादत का मर्तबा देखिए। Look at the level of their ibadat, because the level of your ibadat depends on the level of your marifat. So these are people whose marifat is at their peak. Marifat at their peak. And then we also said the level of your ibadah depends on the sincerity of your intention. The purity of your intention. Actions done purely for the sake of Allah will have a higher reward than actions done for anything else. Look at the sincerity of their intentions. Amir al-Mu'mineen Islam says, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ma abadtuka khawfan fi narik. I did not worship you fearing the hellfire, and I did not worship you tama'an fi jannatik. I did not worship you hoping for heaven. بل وجدتك أهلا للعبادة فعبدتك. I found you worthy of worship and I worshipped you. I found you worthy of worship. Salawat for His worship is the worship of ahrar, of the free people, not because of the fear of the hellfire, which is the worship of the slaves, not hoping for reward of paradise. That is the worship of the businessmen, of the traders, that I found you worthy of worship and I worshipped you. This is the level of the sincerity of intention. And only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can testify to someone's purity of intention. And not in one place, not in two places, multiple places in the Holy Quran. That is why the Holy Quran is very important. Akbar. One of the heavy things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the tradition of Saqalain, the Holy Prophet said, I'm leaving behind two things. One is the Holy Quran, because it is the Holy Quran that is going to testify to the divine status of the Ahlul Bayt. That's why it is important. Not in one place, not in two, in multiple places. In Surah Al-Ita, the words that I recited yesterday, one day Imam Hassan alayhi salam and Imam Hussain they got sick and their disease became severe. One day the Holy Prophet visited them and he looked at the status and the situation of the children. The daughter of the Prophet requested the Holy Prophet to pray for them. The Holy Prophet said, why don't you do another? And if they get well, you'll fulfill that woe, that nazar. If you do that, inshallah, Allah will give them a swift recovery. It's a lesson here. Our problems, our worldly problems, can be solved in different ways. Our illnesses can be taken care of in different ways. Yes, you do go to the doctor, you take medication. But in order to expedite this recovery, there is another way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set up in this dunya. Of sabab and asbab, sabab and musabbab. One of the causes is nazar. You do a nazar. If Allah fulfills this, if Allah takes care of this problem of mine, I will fast for a day. I will do a 2-rakat prayer. I will help a poor. I will help a needy. So they did nazar for the recovery of their children. And the nazar that they did was that they would fast for 3 days. And as a result, Allah granted them recovery. When they recovered, they decided to fulfill their nazar. And those were the times when Muslims were in a financial crunch. They did not have enough. So they would work all day to get the provisions for that day. And if there was extra, they would distribute to others. They would not hoard in their houses. That was not the culture at that time. They would have only that there was for that particular day. On day one, they fasted the entire day. Imam alayhi salam, his wife, and Lady Fizza. When the masters of the house are fasting, how could the servants, how could the slaves not fast? She fasted as well. And at the time of iftar, on day one, a yatim or a miskeen, a person came at the door of these personalities. And when he asked for help, Imam alayhi salam gave what his share of his iftar to that person. Following the footsteps of Amirul Mu'mineen, Sayyida Zahra Salamullah, she also gave. He did not compel anyone. They all gave it voluntarily. Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain gave whatever they had to that person. And he left. And they did iftar from water, and they fasted the next day. The next day, at iftar time, another needy person comes to the door. He asks for help. They all give their food the second day as well. The same happens on the third day. After day 3, the Holy Prophet comes to visit them. And when he sees these people, his Ahlul Bayt, in such a state of hunger, his heart ached and he prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My Ahlul Bayt, they are in a severe condition. They're dying out of hunger. And Jibreel descends with these verses of Surah Al-Ata, praising what they have done and testifying to the sincerity of their intention. That they did not do this for any other reason except for me. Except it says, وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا وَعَسِيرًا. They feed in my love. They feed while they're in need of their food. وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ. They feed the food عَلَى حُبِّهِ while they are in need of it, to a miskeen, وَيَتِيمًا وَعَسِيرًا, and to an asir. And then on the second verse, He testifies to the sincerity of his intention, so that all should know that this act was done purely and purely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He reveals, he narrates the statement, إِنَّمَا نُطْعِمُكُمْ لِوَجْهِ اللَّهِ. We are feeding all of you because for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لَا نُرِيدُ مِنْكُمْ جَزَاءً وَلَا شُكُورًا. We do not need any jaza from you. We do not need any shukr from you. Don't say thank you to me. It is for the sake of Allah that I have done. This proves when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala discloses that this act was done for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then there is no doubt left that this act was done purely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. इस अमल के खुलूस की गवाही खुद कुरान ने दी. We do not get any such testimony for any of the companions. Yes, other companions might have done things for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but where is the guarantee? Do you have a guarantee? Here we find the guarantee from the Quran. Allah is giving the guarantee that this act was done for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not only this, on the day of Hijrah, when Amir al-Mu'minin Islam slept on the deathbed, though the Quran says, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْرِي نَفْسَهُ ابْتَغَاءَ مَرْضَاتِ اللَّهِ. From among the people there is a person who sells, who deals, who trades his soul. He sells his soul and in return buys the marzi of Allah. Who sells his soul, who deals, who trades his soul. What does he get in return? He did not sell it for Jannah. He gets the divine pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And marzi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The result. That is what he sold his soul. In Al-Kafi, he advises all of us. He said, do not sell. This dunya is a trading place. We all have something to sell. And what is that thing that we have to sell? It's our souls. This dunya tijarat gah, it is a trading place. A dunya mazra'atul akhirah, right? The dunya, it's a trading place. There is a commodity that we all have. You purify your soul and sell it. What is, Imam tell us, what is the price we should put on our souls? In Al-Rafi, Imam says, do not sell your souls for anything less than heaven. That is the minimum price tag on your soul. So this is the product that you have to sell. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is out there to buy them. But He wants only pure souls. So you have to purify your soul through ibadat, the purpose of your creation. Ibadat, through ibadat, your souls will become pure and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will buy it. Imam is saying, do not sell your souls for anything less than paradise. Oh Imam, what price did you put on your soul? You said, I did not sell it for paradise. That is the soul, that is the price of the soul of a moment. I am Amirul Mu'mineen. I am Amirul Mu'mineen. He did not sell it for heaven. He sold it for the rizah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the status of these people. Quran is testifying to their ma'rifah. Quran is testifying to the sincerity of their intention. That is why we take our religion from these people. Because they have fulfilled the purpose of creation. We do not go to the door of the companions. They are all respectable. They did whatever they did to serve Islam. But there is no guarantee of the sincerity of their intentions the way we find guarantees for the sincerity of the intentions of the Ahlul Bayt. We don't want to take any chances. That is why we are at the Holy Prophet. And if you want to know the fazail, how do you learn the fazail of people? There are only two ways. There are multiple ways, but two very common ways. Through friends and through enemies. When Imam Shafi was asked about the fazail of Amirul Mu'mineen, about his personality, he said, what should I say or what can I say about a person whose virtues were hidden by both friends and enemies? Both of them hid their virtue, these people's virtues. Imam Ali Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's fazail, doston ne bhi chupaye दुश्मनों ने भी छुपाए. The friends hid the virtues of Imam Ali al-Islam out of the fear of their lives. And the enemies hid the virtues of Amirul Mu'mineen out of jealousy. And he says, yet both try to hide his virtues, yet his virtues has filled the sky. छुपाने के बावजूद उनके फजाइल न छुपे. What would have happened if they had disclosed his fadail? So the Prophet says, Ana adibullah wa aliyun adibi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done my adab. He has trained me and I have trained Amirul. I have trained him. Therefore, no matter how many fadail of Amirul Mu'mineen you mention, it is not going to hurt the status of Risala. Out of Tawheed. No. Why? Because the Holy Prophet has announced that I have trained, he is my student. And Amir al-Mu'mineen has said, Ana abidu min abid Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I am one of the servants of the Holy Prophet. So the higher the status of Amir al-Mu'mineen gets, the higher the status of the Holy Prophet gets. So no amount of fazail can hurt the status of the Holy Prophet. It is only elevate. It will only elevate the status of the Holy Prophet. And no amount of fazail will hurt the tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Never. Because he is an abd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So jis Ali ka, jis khuda ka aisa Ali ho, us Ali ka khuda ka aisa ho. The higher his status becomes, the higher his status becomes. Only God's unlimited attributes will become more manifest. We cannot disclose their fazail, we cannot. And the other way of knowing their fazail is through their enemies. Even the enemies testified to their virtues. They're narrated in books of history that one day, Muawiyah, he got a beautiful carpet as a gift. Amr As was there, his son Yazid was there. Something came to his mind and he said, well, let each of us recite a verse in the fazilat of Imam Ali alayhi salam. And whoever recites the best verse, best share, will get this carpet. And Amr As agreed, Yazid agreed. So he went first, Muawiyah took the first turn and he said, خير الناس من بعد أحمد حيدر. خير الناس, the best of the men, من بعد أحمد, after Ahmad, Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. حيدر is Haydar. الناس والناس أرض والوسي السماء. People are like the earth, and his wasi is like heaven. This was the words that Muawiyah recited, virtue of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Immediately, Amr As, picking up on this, on his statement, he says, وَالْفَضْلُ هُوَ الَّذِي شَهِدَ بِفَضْلِهِ الْعَدُوُ هُوَ الَّذِي شَهِدَ الْعَدُوُ بِفَضْلِهِ. And Ali is the one, even the enemy testifies to his virtue. Muawiyah testified to his virtue. وَهُوَ الَّذِي شَهِدَ الْعَدُوُ بِفَضْلِهِ وَالْفَضْلُ مَا شَهِدَتْ بِهِ الْأَعْدَاءُ. फजल तो होता ही वही है कि दुश्मन भी उसकी गवाही देते. Fazl is that, virtue is that, which even the enemy testifies to it. And in this verse of the Holy, his verse that he recited, he used what the ruler of Sham had said, that his fazl among people is like that of the sky or the earth. And he said fazl is what the enemy testifies, and you have testified to his fazl. And because of this verse, he received the carpet. He received that carpet because his verse far outweighed the verse that Muawiyah had recited. So these are the people that we are commemorating these days. It is their shahadat. It was not just Imam Hussain al-Islam standing against oppression. Yes, he stood against oppression. He stood against injustice. But the movement of Imam Hussain al-Islam should not be compared to the movement of injustice run by Nelson Mandela or other leaders of the world. There's a great difference between the sacrifice of Imam Hussain al-Islam and that of Nelson Mandela and other leaders. They are valuable, the sacrifices are valuable because their sacrifices were against injustice, was against oppression, we value them. But to bring Imam Hussain at the level of those people is injustice to Imam Hussain. It's injustice. So when we introduce Imam Hussain to the communities here, do not bring Imam Hussain to the level of Mandela and others.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah.
Like to begin, so these people are Nasu Arzun, Wal Hussain Sama. These people are like earth and Imam Hussain is from the sky. You cannot bring them, you'll be doing a disrespect, doing injustice to Imam Hussain. Imam Hussain stood up against oppression, stood up against justice, yes. But that was not the only reason why he stood up. That was not the only reason why he stood up. He stood up to save the name of the Holy Prophet. He stood up to save the message of the Holy Prophet. He stood up to save the path of perfection that we all have to travel. He stood up to save the Sharia of the Holy Prophet. The only way through which we can get to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is the purpose of our creation? To get to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to get to perfection. How will that happen? By knowing the Imam. According to tradition, by knowing the Imam. Why is knowing the Imam important? The Imam whose obedience is wajib on you. Because it is the Imam who is going to tell you your wajibat, your muharramat, your life, constitution, what to do and what not to do. And if that constitution, if that path, if that religion that takes you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is lost, everything is lost. If we are not able to fulfill, that is what Imam Hussain a.s. stood up to save. That is what he stood up to, the path to perfection, the road to perfection. Because if that was lost, everything is lost. That was what he wanted to save. And that is where his movement stands out from all other movements. Yes, there was oppression, he stood up again, but it was not just oppression, it was this was at stake, the path to perfection. If that was lost, there is no prophet after Imam Hussain, after the Holy Prophet. There is no prophet going to come after 10th of Ashura. If that past was lost, how would we know what to do today? That is why all of humanity today mankind might not value Imam Hussein's sacrifice because they think that they can get to perfection themselves. Because they think that they can get to perfection themselves. Let them wait. And when they have failed, and when they will realize that they cannot solve their problems in this dunya, they cannot set up a world free from injustice, when they will realize that they cannot set up a world free from chaos, then they will all turn to the divine message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because it is only through the divine message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that justice will be established on the face of earth. And at that time, all of humanity will value the sacrifice of Imam Hussain. So when Imam Hussain sacrificed his life for the sake of Islam, to save Islam, he was doing a favor not only on the Muslims, but to all of humanity. That was a service to all of humanity. They might not value it today. But tomorrow when they will realize, they will all thank Imam Hussain. What is behind it? Because they will realize that if he had not made his sacrifice, Islam would have been destroyed. Then we will not know what to do today, how to rule this world, how to establish justice of this world. So it is his sacrifice. That is why his sacrifice is so important. That is why we will, inshallah, talk about this fact as well. That why is it that the sacrifice of Imam Hussain a.s. is commemorated in this way? That people think that this is. It's not only people, the Imams have mentioned the reason why the 10th of Ashura is commemorated in a way that is not even commemoration for the Holy Prophet. We don't commemorate the Shahadat of the Holy Prophet in a manner we commemorate Ashura. We don't commemorate the Shahadat of the Zainab Zahra Salamullah alayha the way we commemorate the Shahadat of the Imam Hussain or any of the other Imams. What is the secret behind it? Imam Sajjad mentioned this inshallah some other day. We'll mention the reasons behind it. Imam Hussain a.s. when he was asked to pay allegiance to Yazid, he refused. He did not submit. Why? Because his submission would have meant the destruction of the efforts of all the prophets. refused, saying, Misli la yuba'u mislah, the likes of me will never do the bay'ah of the likes of him. And he introduced himself, and he introduced Yazid, inshallah some other day. And then he left Mecca. He left Medina for Mecca. Mecca to Kufa. And then without reaching Kufa, he was diverted to Karbala. He entered Karbala on the second. Days passed by. The night of Ashura arrives. The night of Ashura, he invites all of his companions and delivers a sermon. After praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, we the people of the Ahlul Bayt, we do not deceive nor trick. They are after us, they are after me, they are after my blood. They do not have anything to do with you. उनका तुमसे कोई झगड़ा नहीं है, वो मेरे खून के प्यासे हैं. They are after my blood. Take advantage of the darkness of the night and leave. चले जाओ अपनी जानों को बचा के चले जाओ. I free you of the oath of allegiance. जो बैत का तौक बैत की जो ज़ंजीर तुम्हारे गले में है, मैं उससे तुम्हें आज़ाद करता हूँ. Nobody left. फिर कहा अपनी जानों की परवाह नहीं तो कम से कम मेरे खानदान के अफराद का हाथ पकड़ के ले जाओ. Maybe some people are not leaving because they're ashamed. They don't want to leave. They're shy to leave. But if you don't fear for your lives, hold the hands of one of the family members of my family. Take them with you. Nobody leaves. Then the lamps were turned off. Fire was turned off. He says, take the advantage of the darkness of the night. Leave. Because I'm sure he informs them that whoever will stay with me will surely get killed. Will surely get killed. Nobody leaves. Instead, his companions stand up and express their loyalty in strange ways. One stands up and, how can I leave you? Only to be killed? How can I leave you when you're surrounded by the enemy? One of them stands up and says, if I leave, may the wild beasts of the desert eat me up alive. If I leave you in this state, how can I leave you? Another stands up and says, how can I leave you? I will serve you, I will lay my life for you, so that on the day of judgment, I can tell to the Holy Prophet that I have fulfilled the wasiyah that you did to me to protect the household. This is what I'm going to do. Another stands up and he says, how can we leave you? Even if I know that I will be killed 1,000 times, and each time my body will be burnt into ashes, and the ashes thrown in thin air, and I will be given another life. And if I know if this is going to happen 1,000 times, even then I will sacrifice each time my life for you. This is the loyalty of the companions of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. We are not going to leave you no matter whatever happens. That is why the Imam alayhi salam says, Inni la a'lamu ashaban, I do not know of companions. Awla, better, wala khaira min ashabi, I do not know of any companions better than my companions. The companions that Imam Hussain had, Imam Ali did not have. These companions, the Holy Prophet even did not have these kind of companions. So Imam is saying, go, leave, save your lives. Let me put it in this way. They were ready to put their lives in, they were putting their lives in the footsteps of the Imam, and the Imam was not accepting it. Zindagi itni sasti ho gayi, Zindagi itni nacheez ho gayi, wo Imam ki qadmon mein dal rahe hain, Imam palta rahe hain. At a time where you need friends, when you need soldiers, when you need help, why do you leave? Nobody leaves. And the Imam informs them of their status in the hereafter. This is your status. Ye tumhari manzil hai. Ye tumhara mahal hoga jannat mein. And Imam is informing each one of them of the statuses that they have in heaven. When all of this is going on, a child stands up. A child was listening from a corner. He stands up and looks at the Imam as if he has a question. The Imam turns to him, says, Aman fi man yuqtal? Am I going to be shaheed tomorrow as well? Am I going to be shaheed tomorrow? Everybody looked at this child. He was none other than Qasim ibn Hassan. He feared that the Imam might not grant him permission because of his tender age. Kya kal ke shuhada mein mera bhi naam hai, Imam? Imam did not answer him directly. Imam wanted to show his ma'rifah to the people. He said, Ya bunayya, oh my child, kayfa al-maut indak? How do you see death? Maut tumhari nigah mein kaisi hai? Trying to show others what his level of ma'rifah was. He said, Ahla min al-asal, sweeter than honey, my Imam. Am I going to be among the shuhada of tomorrow? Am I going to get shaheed? Kya kal ke shuhada mein mera bhi naam hai? Imam ne kaha, Qasim, तुम अपने बारे में पूछते हो, कल तो मेरा असगर भी शहीद होगा, कल तो मेरा असगर भी शहीद होगा. When the companions heard that even Asghar alayhi salam is going to get shaheed, they were disturbed, मुस्तरब हो गए. कहा मौला क्या अशकिया खैमों में घुसाएंगे, क्या अशकिया खैमों में घुसाएंगे? होना तो ये भी था, लेकिन इमाम ने ये तफसील नहीं बताई. कहा असगर की शहादत का उन्वान ये नहीं होगा कि अशकिया खैमों में घुस के शहीद करेंगे, बल्कि असगर को मैं अपने हाथों में लेकर And then Imam narrated the entire incident of Shahadat of Janab Ali Asghar on that night of Ashur, and in a manner that the Imam was crying, everybody was crying, sab daade maar kar ro rahe the. Main kahunga Maula, जब जनाब अली असगर की शहादत का किस्सा बयान कर रहे थे तो इतने मुस्तरब हैं कि दाढ़े मार मार कर रो रहे हैं. तो जब वाक़ई शहादत असगर हुई होगी तो उस वक्त इमाम की क्या कैफियत होगी? आगे रोज़े आशूरा एक एक करके इमाम क्या साहब अपनी जानों का नजराना पेश करते जा रहे हैं कि एक मर्तबा जनाब कासिम इमाम की खिदमत में हाजिर हुए. इमाम ने एक निगाह कासिम की तरफ की, अपने भाई याद आए होंगे, ये भाई की निशानी है, किस तरह से मैदान में जाने की इजाजत दे दे. जनाब कासिम को इजाजत नहीं मिल रही. अब जनाब कासिम बेताब हो जाते हैं, किस तरह से इजाजत चाहे. अपने चचा के अपने इमाम के हाथों को चूमना शुरू किया, किसी तरह से इजाजत मिल जाए. जब मेरे इमाम ने इजाजत दे दी तो एक मर्तबा जनाब कासिम को अपनी आगोश में लिया, तो गले लगा के जनाब कासिम भी रोने लगे, जनाब हुसैन भी रोने लगे. इतना रोते जमीन पर बैठ जाते हैं. फिर यही वो शहीद है कि इमाम ने खुद ज़िरा और लिबास रज़्म इनको पहनाया है. जब मैदान की तरफ गए तो एक मर्तबा मैदान में पहुंचकर जनाब कासिम ने रजस पढ़ा, इन तुनकिरूनी फअना इब्नुल हसन, अगर मुझे नहीं जानते तो सुनो मैं हसन का फर्जंद हूँ, सिब्ते नबील मुस्तफा अल मुअतमन, उस फर्जंदे सिब्ते नबी का फर्जंद हूँ. और फिर रोने लगे. एक शख्स ने कहा, जब मैदान में जंग में दिलावर रोया नहीं करते, कहा मैं अपने लिए नहीं रो रहा. हाजा हुसैन कल असीर मुर्तहन, मैं इस हुसैन के लिए रो रहा हूँ जिसको तुमने दावत देकर बुलाया और तन्हा छोड़ दिया. मेरे मौला ने जंग की, दुश्मनों को फिन्नार करना शुरू किया. एक पहलवान है अमर असदी, वो कहता है, हमीद इब्न मुस्लिम रावी है, कहता है मेरे साथ खड़ा था, कहने लगा मैं जाकर इस बच्चे को शहीद करूंगा. मैंने कहा अगर ये बच्चा मुझसे लड़ने के लिए आता तो मैं हमला न करता, ये अभी बच्चा है, तो क्यों जा रहा है? कहा नहीं, मैं इसकी माँ को इसकी अज़ा में बैठाऊंगा. वो मैदान में गया, पीछे से जनाब कासिम के ऊपर वार किया. जनाब कासिम जीन से जमीन पर आ गए और ये फरियाद की, या अम्मा चाचा जान मेरी मदद को आइए. जनाब हुसैन अलैहिस्सलाम इस तरह से लपके हैं जनाब कासिम की तरफ, जिस तरह से उक़ाब अपने शिकार की तरफ जाता है. वो दुश्मन चाहता था कि जनाब कासिम का सर तन से जुदा कर दे. मेरे मौला पहुंचे, उस शख्स के हाथों को कत्ल किया. उसने इतनी जोर से चीख मारी, अपने साथियों को मदद के लिए पुकारा. अब जो घोड़े उसकी मदद के लिए आए, इधर के घोड़े उधर हो जाते हैं, उधर के घोड़े इधर हो जाते हैं. एक मर्तबा जब हवा छिटी, जब गिर्द छिटी तो नजर आए कि मेरे मौला जनाब कासिम के सराहने बैठे हैं, जनाब कासिम को अपनी आगोश में लिया हुआ है. और ये जुमले फरमान बहुत सख्त था हुसैन का. ये मौका, ये मंजिल, कहा कि तेरे चाचा पर बहुत सख्त है ये मंजिल कि तू अपने चाचा को मदद के लिए पुकारे और तेरा चाचा तेरी मदद न कर सके. अगर मदद करे भी तो तेरे किसी काम ना आए. मैं कहूँगा जनाब कासिम
آپ نے مولا کو پکارا، مولا پہنچ گئے. آخری لمحوں میں جب آپ نے اپنی آنکھیں کھولی تو امام کے چہرے کی زیارت ہو گئی. ایسے موقع پر دنیا سے جاتے ہوئے اپنے امام کی زیارت کتنی لذت آئی ہوگی. لیکن ابھی کچھ لمحے بعد میرا مولا حسین کربلا کی زمین پر ہوگا اور سامنے دشمنوں کے نرغے میں ہوگا. آخری لمحوں میں جب میرے مولا آنکھیں کھولیں گے تو سامنے امام وقت نہیں ہوں گے. دشمنوں کا نرغہ ہوگا. جس کے ہاتھ میں تلوار وہ تلوار چلا رہا ہے، جس کے ہاتھ میں پتھر ہے وہ پتھر مار رہا ہے.
Ya Hussein, 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 Ya
شان سے لاتے ہیں شہنشاہ دو عالم قاسم کا جنازہ. شان سے لاتے ہیں شہنشاہ دو عالم قاسم کا جنازہ. شان سے لاتے ہیں شہنشاہ دو عالم قاسم کا جنازہ. شان سے لاتے ہیں شہنشاہ دو عالم قاسم کا جنازہ. شان سے لاتے ہیں شہنشاہ دو عالم قاسم کا جنازہ. شان سے لاتے ہیں شہنشاہ دو عالم قاسم کا جنازہ. شان سے لاتے ہیں شہنشاہ دو عالم قاسم کا جنازہ. شان سے لاتے ہیں شہنشاہ دو عالم قاسم کا جنازہ. ڈالے ہوئے گھوڑے پہ بستی دو پرنام قاسم کا جنازہ. شان سے لاتے ہیں شہنشاہ دو عالم قاسم کا جنازہ. شان سے لاتے ہیں شہنشاہ دو عالم قاسم کا جنازہ. روتے ہوئے سر پیٹتے آتے ہیں جو سرور ہنستے ہیں ستمگر. روتے ہوئے سر پیٹتے آتے ہیں جو سرور ہنستے ہیں ستمگر. سرتا پا قدم خون کا دریا میں ہے سب نام قاسم کا جنازہ. شان سے لاتے ہیں شہنشاہ دو عالم قاسم کا جنازہ. شان سے لاتے ہیں شہنشاہ دو عالم قاسم کا جنازہ. ہے بن قاسم کا یہ غلطہ خیمے میں حرم کا. ہے بن قاسم کا یہ غلطہ خیمے میں حرم کا. مسلم پہ لٹایا جنہیں مظلوم جزدام قاسم کا جنازہ. شان سے لاتے ہیں شہنشاہ دو عالم قاسم کا جنازہ. شان سے لاتے ہیں شہنشاہ دو عالم قاسم کا جنازہ. سے کفن چھا کیے نکلے پیمبر میدان کے اندر. وطن سے کفن چھا کیے نکلے پیمبر میدان کے اندر. پامال وہ گھوڑوں سے لگے کرنے وہ ازلام قاسم کا جنازہ. شان سے لاتے ہیں شہنشاہ دو عالم قاسم کا جنازہ. شان سے لاتے ہیں شہنشاہ دو عالم قاسم کا جنازہ. کیا راج لٹا شاہ کا میدان بلا میں وہ حسرت دردا. کیا راج لٹا شاہ کا میدان بلا میں وہ حسرت دردا. یوں کہتی تھی ماں دلہا کو لپٹا کے ہر ایک دام قاسم کا جنازہ. شان سے لاتے ہیں شہنشاہ دو عالم قاسم کا جنازہ. شان سے لاتے ہیں شہنشاہ دو عالم قاسم کا جنازہ. گھیرے ہوئے जिस तरह से हो चांद को तारे खेमे में यूं सारे रेले हुए जिस तरह से हो चांद को तारे खेमे में यूं सारे मसनद पे लिटाया शह मजलूम ने जिस दाम कासिम का जनाजा इस शान से लाते हैं शहंशाह दो आलम कासिम का जनाजा इस शान से लाते हैं शहंशाह दो आलम कासिम का जनाजा डाले हुए घोड़े पे बस ईदे प्रणाम कासिम का जनाजा कासिम का जनाजा कासिम